وسهلا بكل الذين ينضموا للاستماع إلى راديو بلدي أول راديو عربي أمريكي ويعنى بقضايا العرب في المهجر. برامجنا في راديو بلدي كل يوم جمعة من 8 وحتى 9 صباحا مع ليلى الحسيني في بث حي ومباشر وعبر wnzk راديو 690 AM. صباح الخير بلدي، صباح الخير لكل مستمعينا.
Welcome to Radio Baladi, the first Arab, Middle Eastern, and American simulcast radio show. Radio Baladi is broadcast every Friday morning on wnzk 690 AM from 8 until 9 Eastern Time on Good Morning Michigan with Layla Al-Husseini. Our call-in number 248-557-3300. And now, stay tuned for the best radio talk show on Arab and American issues with your host, Layla Al-Husseini.
Today's show is co-sponsored by the Ziad Brothers, and here's your host, Ray Hanania.
And good morning and welcome to Radio Bellady. I'm Ray Hanania. This is the Arab Daily News radio show. Today is Friday, March 11, 2016. It is 8:03 in the morning Eastern Standard Time, 7:03 a.m. in Chicago, where I'm broadcasting from. I'm here every second Friday of the month in the morning, broadcasting live in Detroit on WNZK AM 690 and in Washington, D.C. on AM 700 radio, hosted on Layla Al-Husseini's U.S. Arab Radio Network. We're broadcast every morning again at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 a.m. in Chicago. Call us this morning. It's an open line at 248-557-3300. Tell us what you think about the top issues in the American Arab and Muslim American community. For more information on this radio show, you can visit www.thearabdailynews.com. Remember, we want you to share your views, so call in at 248-557-3300. I'll tell you what, Tuesday was a phenomenal show at the voting booths and at the elections in Michigan. Michigan actually kind of is driving the election and gave a big boost to Bernie Sanders. Now, I still think Bernie Sanders has a tough fight because, you know, the Democratic elections primaries are not the same as the Republican primaries. And when you understand that, I think maybe you'll understand that what happens is that there is not only does Bernie Sanders have to win votes and beat Hillary Clinton, but he has one more hurdle that the candidates on the Republican side don't have. The Democratic side has super delegates. So if Bernie Sanders gets more delegates, the ones that are assigned by the vote, than Hillary Clinton, who is a establishment insider, can still get the super delegates without even asking you. Every state has super delegates. These are the political elite, the establishment. You know, when we talk about this election, everybody says, well, Donald Trump is the voice against the insider establishment. The truth is, the insider establishment is no less powerful and even more powerful in the Democratic Party. So Hillary could lose this election based on elected delegates that are assigned. They call them assigned delegates. You know, when you vote, you either get delegates based on the percentage of your vote, or in some states, like next Tuesday, the third Super Tuesday, which will include Illinois and other states, Florida and Ohio, you win all of the delegates. The winner takes all in some of those states. In some states, they divide it up based on the percentage of your vote. But super delegates are free to choose whoever they want. Super delegates are identified and selected not by the voters, but they are selected by the politicians, the establishment, the insiders. And I'm telling you, they're going to steal this election from Bernie Sanders because the system is wrong. There is something corrupt and rotten in this system. Now, on the Republican side, The Republicans wish they had the same system, but they intentionally didn't want this system. They believed that there was no way an outsider could come in and take away the nomination from one of their insiders. And they're stuck. If Donald Trump wins the majority of delegates that are required to become the president, he's going to be nominated unless the Republican Party wants to destroy itself at their convention and turn themselves around upside down, which is exactly what Donald Trump is doing. Now, personally, if it comes to an election, and this is all the primary stuff, we're just talking about who is going to run for president, the two final representatives. There might be a third party. Who knows? Maybe Ralph Nader might run again. And as much as I love Ralph Nader, he's run 4 times in 4 elections. He's only one time he got 2.9% of the total vote in this country, which is sad. He's a great guy and a great candidate. But as an Arab, I just couldn't vote for him because I wanted my vote to influence the person that I thought might win, because election politics in America are about who is the least evil, not who is the best. Ralph Nader was the best. But unfortunately, the best don't win. It's all about who's the lesser of the evils. And in this election, when the election comes up in November, if it's Bernie Sanders and Donald Trump, I am going to vote for Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders is a great candidate. But I don't believe Bernie Sanders is going to be the nominee of the Democratic Party because of that super delegate caveat that the Democratic Party has. Hillary Clinton is going to steal the election, and we can scream and fight, and we could throw pillows, and we could go huff and puff and lock ourselves in our room. But the truth is, that's what's going to happen. Hillary Clinton, and I don't like Hillary Clinton anymore. I did like her 8 years ago. I think she was a decent person. I won this big journalism award from the New American Media. I think it was in, 2007. And she was the presenter. Of course, she was wanted to run for president in 2008. So she came out there and presented the award to me for being the best ethnic American journalist in America. So I thank her for that. But you know what? I don't know her. I didn't become a great journalist because she helped me. I became a great journalist because I'm a good writer, and I always write the truth, my opinion, what I believe. I don't write it, my opinion, just to make people feel good, which is why some people in the Israeli community, in the Arab community, in the Muslim community, they don't like me. What can I say? You know, it's not me. I'm just the messenger. You don't like me, it's because of my views? That means you really don't like my views. That's it. I don't mind. But I do know Arabs are so ineffective anyway in communications. It doesn't matter what they think. But it did matter this past Tuesday because they did get together. And they got together in 2 different groups. So again, in November, when we have our 2 candidates, Republican and Democrat, if Bernie Sanders is on the ballot, I'm going to vote for him. If Bernie Sanders is not on the ballot, and if it's Hillary Clinton, I am going to vote for Donald Trump. If it's Hillary Clinton and any other Republican, I will vote for Hillary Clinton, even though I know she's the worst thing to happen to the Middle East, because I remember her husband. I remember how he destroyed the Middle East process. He really was dedicated to Middle East peace for most of his administration. Same way Barack Obama has been. And then what happened was Monica Lewinsky. His legacy came into jeopardy. His legacy toward the end of his administration was a disaster. And Clinton decided that one of the things that he would do was he would push a peace agreement, any kind of peace agreement, on the Palestinians and force them to accept it, whether they liked it or not. So when they were at Camp David with Ehud Barak, remember him, former prime minister? Ehud wouldn't meet with Yasser Arafat. Arafat went there to negotiate a peace. Arafat went there to sign a peace accord, but he wouldn't meet. Ehud Barak wouldn't meet with Arafat, and Israel gave Bill Clinton the plans for a pro-Israel peace agreement that Arafat wouldn't accept. It included no presence in Jerusalem, the capital of the Arab world, and it included no recognition, no issues involving the right of return. And you can't do anything unless you address the Palestinian right of return, which is an important principle, legally solid issue that gives Palestinians rights. So, but Clinton tried to force that agreement down Arafat's throat. He rejected it, and as soon as Camp David ended, Ehud Barak and Bill Clinton pointed a finger at Arafat and blamed him, and not just Arafat, they blamed the Palestinians. They blamed us. They said there was no peace because we rejected it, and that's not true. We wanted two states. We wanted peace, but we wanted Jerusalem, our share, our rights, and we wanted Israel to acknowledge and do something and compensate and come to some kind of agreement and at least address the right of return. They didn't do it. So Bill Clinton was the worst president when it came to the Middle East. That's the truth, because during his first 7 years, he did a lot. It was his last year, 6 months before he left office, that he destroyed the Middle East peace process because he thought if he could get any kind of an agreement, he would be remembered and Monica Lewinsky would be forgotten. Now, Hillary Clinton wants to bring back that Bill Clinton approach to the Middle East, and I say no, I cannot support her. Our number is 248-557-3300. I want to hear what you have to say, how you voted, and what you think is going to happen. Let's go to the phone lines and welcome Isa.
How you doing, Ray?
Radio show. Hi, Isa.
I just want your opinion about the president. I know he has executive power, but really, does he have power in reality? In fact,
no. He has limited powers. There's certain things he can do, and here, let me give you an example. Barack Obama is not the strongest president, but he has some good intentions. Barack Obama could, and let's talk about the Middle East, he could sign an executive order ordering the United States to accept Syrian refugees. He could do that. He could assign money to do that. Now, Congress would have to fight him, and they might try to do something to stop him, but he could make it a moral issue. And he could stand up there and tell the American people, we cannot turn away these civilians and poor people who are being killed by these terrorists from Al-Qaeda and ISIS and Daesh. That we need to take them. So he could do that. He could also recognize, for example, Palestine from the White House and recognize it and give the Palestinians full state recognition, even if the Congress doesn't want to do that. He could do that. But these guys, that's one reason why I like Trump. Trump doesn't care what anybody thinks. He says some crazy, stupid stuff like he did about Muslims. Like he's going to ban them. That's a stupid way to deal with the problem. You can't ban Muslims. But no president is 100% good. No candidate. They're all 70% good, 30% bad. Ted Cruz and Marco Rubio are the worst.
Yes. Now, Obama, he didn't do anything, as you said. So,
he did nothing. I agree with you.
She was the Secretary of State. She's Obama's right hand.
Yes, you're right.
So we had bad experience with their administration. So,
that's why I don't like Hillary. Do you like Hillary?
No, because Hillary is the other face of the same coin.
She's been terrible for the Arabs and the Arab world,
Obama,
and not just Muslims, but Christians too. Hillary has been terrible for all of us, Christian, Muslims, all of us in the Middle East.
Even for the Jew.
And even for Israel, you're right.
Yes.
It's horrible.
And now, could you touch the issue of the Russian intervening in Syria? Because you're talking about Palestine, really. We are greater Syria. Now, the heart of the Arab world is Syria.
Yes. You're right. Syria is the heart of the Arab world.
I'm Syrian.
Syria, we were all called Syrians. When my dad came to this country in 1926, when he was 23, 24 years old, he was listed as a Palestinian on a Palestinian passport, but he was identified by immigration as Syrian. All of the Arabs that came there through the 19th century, Syria was a huge factor before the West carved up the Ottoman Empire and created these little dynasties that, we recognize based on culture.
Yes,
and created nationalities that didn't exist.
Let's say فرق تسد, divide the people, divide
You're
the country, you control them. فرق تسد.
You're right. They controlled us.
Yes.
And it was the West that did it. Britain, France, and the United States. We were there at the table when it was divided after World War I. We were there. We divided it. The British were the big pushers. But here's my issue with Syria. I really don't listen, the Arab world, there's some people that argue the Arabs need a strong man, a tough person, a tyrant to keep everybody in line. And as soon as, for example, they took out Saddam Hussein, look what happened to the Middle East. Al-Qaeda was never in Iraq under Saddam Hussein, but they dominate Iraq today. Iraq is in shambles. More people are dying under ISIS and Daesh than they were when Saddam Hussein was there. Saddam Hussein was a tyrant. He's not a good person. He never was.
Yes, I agree with you.
But you know that the way we Arabs are, we're so emotional. We fight with each other. We don't believe in democracy. We don't believe in electing a representative and standing behind them. We put our religion in front of our politics. We need to separate religion from our region.
Country, al-watan, awalan. Country comes first. Comes first.
Yes, and our watan should be, but not for everybody. But it should be the most important thing. But it hasn't been. So here's my feeling about Syria. On one hand, I'm glad Russia's there because Russia recognizes the rights of Palestinians, but Russia is not there to stop Daesh. They're there, and ISIS. They're there to stop the rebels from forcing Assad out of office. It's a mess. Part of it is our fault, but most of it is West.
Democratic country.
We want a democratic country, don't we?
I mean, Russia. So Russia is looking for its own interest in a way.
Yes, they are. They're feeding their own interest, absolutely. They don't like working with the United States. They feel that, this new balance of power has really given the United States all the power. Russia has no, power. So Russia has decided to carve out its own foreign policy. Isa, I have to let you go because I got to take a break. I'm late by a couple minutes, but I want to thank you
for the time you gave me. Thank you.
No, you're welcome, Isa. I appreciate it. I'm Ray Hanania. This is the Arab Daily News radio show. Our number, 248-557-3300. Tell us how you voted and what you think is going to happen in the elections because it is very important. This election could mean something for Arabs and Arab Muslims. And I'm going to tell you what, I don't want to call myself Christian, Muslim, whatever. Americans think I'm Muslim. I'm Christian, but you know what? I'm Arab. I'm Arab. And if you're Arab, we should stand together. We're going to take a break, and we'll be right back right after these messages.
Ziyad brand. Quality products from our family to yours. Ziyad Brothers Importing offers the finest quality products, including brands like Sultan, Kraft, Nestle, Hook, Rico Picon, Donna, and many more. Ask your retailer to carry these fine products because you deserve the very best. For more information, visit our website at www.ziyad.com. That's www.ziyad.com. Ziyad, quality products from our family to yours.
Jumana K-Ruse. You've seen her images on giant billboards across the metro. Jumana K-Ruse. You've seen her images on buses across the city. Now get to know Jumana K-Ruse.
Most people who sit in my office across from my desk are hurting on so many levels. One thing people do not know about medical malpractice is that the statute of limitation, meaning the time that you have to bring suit against a doctor, a hospital, is 2 years. In medical malpractice, that's a very, very short period of time. Not every lawyer is an advocate, but every lawyer should be an advocate.
Let Jumana K-Rus protect your rights. Call the law offices of Jumana K-Rus at 1-866-YOUR-RIGHTS, extension 100, or visit yourrights.com.
Life for Relief and Development is a nonprofit charity that has been providing humanitarian aid and development to people and communities regardless of race, color, religion, or cultural background for over 22 years. When disaster occurs here or around the world, Life rushes to provide food, medical aid, and shelter to those in need. Life also has development projects to provide medical relief, water purification, educational programs, relief for orphans, and much more. Your help and support can greatly improve these efforts. All donations are tax deductible. For more information, please visit our website at lifeusa.org or call 248-424-7493. That's lifeusa.org, 248-424-7493.
And welcome back to the Arab Daily News radio show, Radio Baladi, here on the U.S. Arab Radio Network, which is hosted by Layla El-Husseini every morning, Monday through Friday. It's the only morning Arab radio show in the country. The only one. You can hear it online every morning at 8 o'clock Detroit time, Eastern Standard Time, for 1 hour. You can hear that and other great programs on WNZK 690. But Layla's broadcast in Ohio and Washington, D.C., and she's probably trying to expand it all over the country where it needs to be broadcast to reach Arabs everywhere, because it's not enough to have a little Arab radio show, you know, in one little city like in Texas or out in Los Angeles. You need to reach out to everybody. And I hope that Layla's radio, U.S. Arab Radio Network, networks and syndicates with other big radio stations, even like Yahala Voice, where I did a radio show here in the Chicago area. But we're taking calls at 248-557-3300. You can go to I set up a new website called thedailyhookah.com. Thedailyhookah.com. Thedailyhookah.com brings together all of my writing, because I write every place. But I only write for those people that pay me. I don't give it away for free anymore the way everybody else does. You know, we just throw our writing out there and it sticks to the wall and nobody reads it. So I only write for Creator Syndicate. I write for the Arab Daily News, and then we do cartoons and comic strips for the dailyhookah.com on Arab issues, because I am an Arab, and this is Arab radio, and I'm proud to be Arab. Well, I don't want to talk about religion anymore, but I do know that each religious group does their own thing. Most Muslims aren't even Arab. You know, they're non-Arab, which is sometimes why the Arab issue in the very influential Islamic community doesn't get addressed fairly or properly. So we need to step back from religion, and we need to be Arab. Let's go back to the phone lines and say hello to Jerry, who's been on hold at 248-557-3300. Hi, Jerry.
Good morning, Mr. Hanania. How are you today?
I'm doing good. How's it? What did you think of the elections, huh?
To be honest, Mr. Hanania, the way I look at it, America and the White House is not created for the Bush family or the Clinton family. They have their share. George Walker Herman Bush, he was the president, the father, and he got his term in the White House. His son, George W. Bush, he took the term as the president. William Jefferson Clinton, Bill Clinton, he took his term, and Miss Hillary Clinton was the first lady over there for 8 years. Then she becomes senator. Then she becomes Secretary of the State under Mr. President Barack Obama. I believe the time for her to go and act like a grandma, to take care of her granddaughter, the only granddaughter, let her go change diapers and hold them the baby bottles.
Yeah, I don't think that's a bad idea. I think we need somebody else.
Hanania, like you said, give a chance for a new blood fresh, and let's put the old establishment aside. We are not going to the same old stories. Let's pick up somebody that has a lot of great intelligence American politician to lead this great nation. And let's look for the right person. And the right person, he is right there. Like you said earlier, maybe he doesn't have a chance. You know, Mr. Hanania, when it comes to Mr. Donald Trump, the American billionaire businessman, yes, I know he's tough, but as far I know, with his temper,
Right.
I don't trust him to put his finger on the nuclear buttons.
Well, you might be right.
He
I
could
mean, listen.
create a war. If we get to the White
downside.
House,
Listen,
yes.
that is the downside of, having a tough, president who's fearless. He might hit that button pretty quick. That would not be good.
Mr. Hanania, the first thing I could picture with Donald Trump being in the White House, the first thing he's going to face North Korea.
Right.
That's the first disaster. The second disaster facing the Islamic Republic of Iran. That's second disaster. The third disaster, I know there is some romance between him and Russian President Mr. Putin, but I don't know this romance how long will last. You know, we are looking for a man that he doesn't control his temper during the gathering. When some people stand up against his policy, he asks his Secret Service to move them away. And at the end, I was surprised last week when he said, if that person was close to me, I will punch him on his face. Come on, Mr. Donald Trump.
That guy was
This is
kind of...
not the way you talk to your American citizens.
Yes, listen, but here's the thing. Here's the thing about Donald Trump, Jerry, honestly. Yeah, we say, well, Hillary Clinton wouldn't talk like that, and Ted Cruz wouldn't talk like that. You know why they won't talk like that? They mean that. Deep down, they want to talk like that. But they do when they're not on the camera. But when they're on the camera, they listen to the political consultants, and the political consultant says, hey, don't say you want to punch that guy in the face.
No.
Lie about the Arabs and say that they're vicious terrorist murderers.
Mr. Ray,
but listen, so what I'm saying is Trump is saying what everybody else would say, but they're lying to us. He just says what he wants. Now, I think that's not good for any of them, but he's at least being honest and saying what he feels. And 30% of what he says, I don't agree with. 70% I do.
And Mr. Ray, when it comes to the candidate, with my respect to them, I mean, look at the debate, how they put down each other, attacking each other.
Yeah.
I mean, with my respect to the American people, the great nation, you mean one of those clowns will be my president one of these days? Come on. Give me a break.
Unfortunately,
you know, they act like children.
Have we ever
sometimes.
been happy with the president, honestly? Have we ever had a president that's been fair and just?
Mr. Ray Hanania, I want to see my president represent all the American people, black and white, Asian and Chinese, Arab, Chaldean, Assyrian. I don't want somebody come to the White House and criticize the Muslim people from not entering this country. Come on, give me a break.
Yeah, no,
Muslim
crazy.
people no different than Christian and Jewish. If he attacked today's Muslim, he will attack the Chaldean tomorrow. And as far as I know, Mr. Ray.
But Jerry, let me ask you a question. How is he different from Ted Cruz, who will attack Muslims and specifically Arabs? And how is he different from Marco Rubio? Because you know what, Cruz and Rubio, they look at the Muslim community and they separate out the Arabs. And they say they love Muslims, but the truth is they don't. They love non-Arab Muslims. As long as you're not Arab, they love you. But once you're Arab, they will destroy you, they will kill you, they will undermine you, they will impose restrictions against you, and they'll slander you. So I'm saying, how is Trump different from Ted Cruz, Marco Rubio, or any of the Republicans? He's not. He's the better one out of all of the Republicans. Even though he says many things I don't like.
Yeah, Mr. Hanania, you always, I respect you when you said something about the Middle Eastern people around here. The average American people, he doesn't know the difference between Chaldean and Assyrian and Muslim. You know, they look, all of them, at us with this olive skin. I'm sorry to say this word, CJ. You know what the CJ mean?
Yeah.
They look at us as a camel, whatever. I don't want to complete it.
Yeah, you don't need to say it. They say even worse things about us.
Exactly.
Americans look at me and they say, well, why are you a Muslim? You're supposed to be Christian. And I go, what are you talking about? They say, well, you're Arab, so you must be Muslim. I said, are you that dumb? Are you people in America so ignorant? And
they don't know the difference between Chaldean and a man from Dearborn, a man from Sterling Heights. When they look at us when I'm driving behind the wheel, they look at Ray Hanania, at Jerry Habba, at Muhsin Abdel
all one person. Right.
All one person. We are from that region. And when it comes to Hillary Clinton, Mr. Ray Hanania, you know, I do not appreciate her when she say, I am here as a woman, elect me as the first president. I want to fight for your right. Ms. Hillary Clinton, if you fight for the right of the woman, why you are accepting money, millions of dollars from the government of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, who they do not allow their women to drive a car? The Saudi government treats the Saudi woman as a second-class citizen. Give me a break, Miss Hillary Clinton.
But listen, Jerry, I have to take a break actually, but let me say something. Saudi Arabia and all those Gulf Arabs and even the entire Arab world, we're doing to women what America did to women before them. Because in this country, we oppressed women, we oppressed blacks, and it wasn't until we had to pass a constitutional amendment to give women the right to vote. They had to fight for it, and we beat them, we brutalized them, we still disgrace them, we still disrespect them in this country, we don't treat them as equal, and even the idea that Hillary Clinton is going to change that is so ridiculous. She's not going to change it. This country...
I don't think so. She is there to get the power to be called as the first Madam President. She's
and
not
that's all it'll be a title. Jerry, I got to let you go. I got to take a break. So
Let's
sorry.
look forward for a president who could bring the peace in the Middle East and to stop the bleeding and to fight those thugs, whatever they call them, ISIS, cockroaches, whatever. And God bless you, Ray, and God bless the great United States of America.
All right, thanks, Jerry. I'm Ray Hanania here at U.S. Arab Radio, the Arab Daily News radio show. We're broadcasting live. Go to our website at thedailyhookah.com. You can get everything over there. We're going to take a break, and we'll be right back right after these messages.
From their first words to first grade, Dreamy Children's Center will help get your child on the right track. The highly qualified staff works closely with parents to provide an experience that goes beyond early education. We can help nurture important personality traits with the use of educational programs ranging from preschooling for infants to Montessori-approved programs and bilingual curriculums for young children. All meals can be provided and we can arrange for after-school pickup. Dreamy Children's Center in Dearborn Heights on Warren, in Westland on Ann Arbor Trail, and in Troy on DeQuinder.
Are you going to start a restaurant or grocery store soon? Do you need floor plans and designs? Call Najee Abood at 734-744-9796. Do you want to buy kitchen and restaurant equipment at discount prices? Call Najee Abood now, 734-744-9796. New Concept Products and Design, the trademark of kitchen equipment. 5% discount on all purchases of $75,000 or more. New Concept Products and Design. New location, 31185 Schoolcraft in Livonia. Learn more at www.newconceptproducts.com. Call Najee Abood, 734-744-9796.
Ziyad brand. Quality products from our family to yours. Ziad Brothers Importing offers the finest quality products, including brands like Sultan, Kraft, Nestle, Hook, Rico Picon, Donna, and many more. Ask your retailer to carry these fine products because you deserve the very best. For more information, visit our website at www.ziad.com. That's www.ziad.com. Ziad, quality products from our family to yours.
And welcome back to the Arab Daily News Radio Show. I'm your host, Ray Hanania. Today is Friday, March 11th. We're broadcasting on Layla Al-Husseini's U.S. Arab Radio Network. Our number is 248-557-3300. I'm on for another 25 minutes, shaking up the Arab community and trying to make us think, trying to make us see what the reality is of the elections. And I am very proud of what Arabs and Arab Muslims and Arab Christians did in this past election in Michigan. They gave a big boost. The two communities, let's be honest, you know, they only talked about how the Arab and the Muslim community voted. They didn't talk about how the Chaldean community voted. The Arab Muslim community pretty much overwhelmingly supported and voted for Bernie Sanders in the Democratic primary, and I believe they gave Bernie enough votes to take the state, and that gave him a victory over Hillary Clinton, a symbolic victory to say he can't be pushed out, because Hillary wanted to close that election in Michigan and shut him down, and she couldn't do it because of many Arab Muslim voters who came out in force to support Bernie Sanders. But you can't ignore, as it has been done, the Chaldean community of Middle East Christians. They are a huge population. I got a chance to talk to Amir Denha this past week of the Chaldean Detroit Times newspaper, one of the great newspapers, just like the Arab American News, published by Osama Siblani, another great newspaper. Amir Denha was telling me about how Chaldeans supported overwhelmingly Donald Trump, because to them the issue is the rise of extremist religious groups like Al-Qaeda and Daesh, ISIS. They want somebody tough, and they believe that Trump is the toughest candidate, and they voted overwhelmingly for Donald Trump in the Republican primary, and they gave Trump the strength to beat all the other Republican candidates in Michigan. It was unbelievable how the Arabs, and just if you step back from who you like, the Arabs played a major role in this election in Detroit and Michigan, really for the first time. And that is something that all Arabs and Middle East Christians, and Arab, whether you're Muslim or Christian Arab, or whether you're Chaldean, to be proud of. You should be proud that your vote impacted, because that's the purpose of a vote. The whole idea of voting is to make a statement and have an impact and be part of the election process. And I applaud both groups. Doesn't matter who you voted for. It really doesn't. And I know some people get angry with me and say, why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? I say, look, that's not the point. It's the fact that we got out there and we voted as groups, as constituencies. You know, Arabs came together, Muslim and Christian, and voted for Bernie Sanders. And like I said, if the election were between Bernie Sanders and Donald Trump, I will support Bernie Sanders. But if this election is between, in November, Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump, I am going to vote for Donald Trump. This may be the first time that I've actually ever supported a Republican candidate, and that's oftentimes the problem in our community. We see politics as black and white issues, and they're not. Sometimes the Democrats have been the worst. It's the Democrats that are passing legislation to block the BDS movement, to boycott Israel's settlements and the illegal settlements that are stealing land and product and selling it in American stores as if it were, quote, made in Israel. It's not made in Israel. It's made in the occupation. So I support the BDS movement, but it's the Democrats who are standing in the way with the Republicans. It's the Democrats that have introduced legislation across this country to deny anyone the right to criticize Israel. And if you do, you're punished. They take away funding. They take away support. They take away your rights through laws, all to protect Israel's occupation of the West Bank. And listen, I am Palestinian, and to me, the big issue, of course, is Palestine, and Palestine is the heart of all the troubles in the Middle East. If they resolve the Palestinian question fairly and with justice, the rest of the Middle East would have fallen in line. But now, the longer that this injustice continues, the worse it gets all over the Middle East, because American policy in Iraq and American policy in Syria starts with American policy in Palestine. And when they destroyed Palestine, they're going to destroy Iraq, and they are destroying Iraq, and they're going to destroy Syria, and they are destroying Syria, because no one in this country cares about Iraqis, no one cares about Syrians, no one cares about Palestinians in this country. The governments only care about their own power, and they care about Israel. And I'm telling you, if Israel was a partner with Syria, we would not be in this mess in Syria. The refugees would be getting funding. They would be getting support. They would be being settled in the United States. It is about Israel. And unfortunately, Israel is governed by a right-wing fanatic administration and Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. And one day, maybe that can change. But it is a big mess. And you and I aren't going to make a difference. You and I are not going to change the Middle East. We're not going to change Israel. We're not going to change Syria or Iraq. But we can have a voice in this country of America where we can tell people what we think and get Americans to wake up. The most educated people in the world are the least educated about the world. Think about that. These Americans, we've done such a poor job in doing communications with the American people. That's why I wrote a book called Power PR. It's all about how minorities like you and me, how we can change what's happening in this world. But if we don't understand PR, if we don't get it, then we're never going to change anything. All we'll be doing is what we do now. We fight among each other. We yell and scream. We have all kinds of problems. We kind of beat up on each other. It's kind of sad, actually. It's really kind of sad. And I hope one day that changes. But it's only going to change if we understand how to communicate in this country, not the way we want to communicate, but communication is about who are you talking to. It's about the audience. And when you recognize the audience, when you understand who your audience is and what they're all about, you can influence them to do what you need done. That's how it works, folks. It's simple, and yet we don't do it. 248-557-3300 is our phone number. I think we're going to take another quick break since I don't have somebody yet on the line, but you could be next. You could be sharing your opinion on the elections this past week and also on Syria. What do we do? How do we change things? How do we get to support for Syrian refugees, and how do we figure out how to end the mess and the destruction in Syria? I'm Ray Hanania. This is the Arab Daily News radio show on the U.S. Arab Radio Network. 248-557-3300. We're going to take a break, and we'll be right back right after these messages.
أسواق زمزم الواقع على 24065 أورشد لك في مدينة فارمington هيلز ترحب بالجالية العربية والكلدانية. تنزيلات كبيرة على عموم المواد الغذائية في يوم الأربعاء من كل أسبوع. لا تنسوا فريش كاري اوت، جميع انواع المعجنات، وايضا صواني الكامبو المشكله والصمون الحار، لحوم حلال الجاليه العربيه والاسلاميه، الملحمه باداره قصاب الجاليه المعروف سلوان جربوع. زوروهم على 24065 اورشاد ليك في مدينه فارمington هيلز، او اتصلوا بهم على 248 476 0300. اسواق زمزم للمذاقي عنوان لجميع طلباتكم، اتصلوا على 248 476 0300. اسواق زمزم للمعامله الراقيه وكرم الضيافه عنوان.
مسافر وحدك وفايتني.
أمتي ترافل للسياحة والسفر بإدارة نبيل الباشا تعلن عن افتتاح مكتبها الواقع على 28695 راين رود في مدينة وورن. خدمات متميزة وخبرة تفوق 20 عاما نضعها في خدمة عملائنا الكرام. مع أمتي ترافل يمكنكم حجز رحلاتكم الجوية داخل أمريكا، الوطن العربي وأنحاء العالم، إضافة إلى الأماكن السياحية والاستجمام. للحصول على أفضل العروض وأنسب الأسعار ولمزيد من المعلومات اتصلوا على الرقم 586-578-9126 586-578-9126. أمتي ترافل، عنوان للصداقة والثقة. قشات ميديترينيان ماركت بإدارة فهر قشات وأولاده يرحبون بالجالية العربية والكلدانية. جميع أنواع المواد الغذائية، البان طازجة، الكرزات والبهارات الطازجة. داخل الأسواق مطعم ميديترينيان شيش كباب يقدم يوميا جميع أنواع الكباب، المقبلات العربية العراقية وصواني الكامبو المميزة. تفتح الأسواق من 8 إلى 9 مساء من الاثنين وحتى السبت، ومن 8 صباحا إلى 9 مساء يوم الأحد. تقع الأسواق على 32839 نورث ويسترن هايواي في مدينة فارمينغتون هيلز. لحوم حلال للجالية الإسلامية، لطلباتكم من المطعم كول 248-538-7855. that is 248-538-7855. قشة ميديترينيان ماركت، خدمة متميزة ومعاملة راقية.
And welcome back to the Arab Daily News radio show here at the U.S. Arab Radio Network. I'm Hanania. I'm here the second Friday of every month. You go to thedailyhookah.com or thearabdailynews.com and you'll get that information and listen live if you don't happen to be living where we're broadcast in Detroit, in Michigan, in Ohio, and in Washington, D.C. on AM 700 and AM 690 WNZK in Michigan. We're going to go back to the phone lines in a minute, but first I want to say something about the Middle East. I have to say that I don't like the violence that's taking place in Israel and Palestine. I don't like the violence when the Israelis are the killers. I don't like the violence when the Palestinians are the killers. And I know that when I say that, I get a little pushback from people saying, well, the Palestinians are the victims, the Israelis have the power, and the Palestinians are resisting. And I agree. I understand that. But do we really want to kill innocent Israeli civilians and be like the Israelis who are killing innocent Palestinian civilians? Is that what we are? I don't believe that. I believe there's another way to do it, and we need to do that because that's what the Reverend Martin Luther King tried to do. That's what Mahatma Gandhi tried to do. They said they could do the right thing in the face of terrible war crimes and punishments. And instead of striking out with violence at the Israelis, we should find another way to do a better job of showing how the Israelis are raping and pillaging innocent people, civilians. But when we attack the Israelis and when we kill civilians, the Israelis have the upper hand in communications, and they make it look like we hate Jewish people, and that's not true. We don't hate Jewish people. We hate those who commit crimes. And I know the Israelis, there are many Israelis on this that believe the same thing. They don't want their government to be killing innocent Palestinians and stealing Palestinian lands. There are many Israelis. We need to find a way to work with them and change the Israeli government to get rid of Netanyahu and make this a better world. Anyway, let's go back to the phone lines at 248-557-3300. And I think Isa is back on. Hi, Isa. Thank you again for calling back.
Yes, my lucky day.
My lucky day. Go ahead.
Yes, can we designate time for discuss a way of uniting us without political or intellectual people
It's hard.
discuss not religion. We don't want, the religion is dividing us over here. Even the priest and the sheikh, they are dividing the people. We need to get together. We're going to have, if we could have a convention without giving a chance to any religious person to speak.
I wish we could organize without, I agree with you, Isa. I wish we could organize without religion, and I wish we could push religion aside.
And without food, too.
Religion destroys the politics.
Just, we discuss things, we have to do something for next generation. We brought division with us, and religious people are dividing us.
I agree with you. Isa, I agree with you. I don't know.
We could speak Arabic and English. They're not giving us a chance. They're using us. We are brainwashed.
Yeah, a lot of people feel that way, and I tend to agree that religion is not the answer
The priest
to the
is not
problem.
God.
It's
The
the worst
sheikh is not God.
I'm Arab, and I think we should all go back to being Arab. We should say we're Arab. That's my opinion. Listen, Isa, thank you for calling back, okay?
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Let's go to the phone line. Say hi to Sammy at 248-557-3300. Hi, Sammy. Oh, is Sammy still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Sammy, how are you? Sorry.
Hi. Just to follow up on what the gentleman just said,
Yes.
I think in one of your sessions in the future, there's a lot of Arabic professionals,
Yes.
and we're getting lost with the shuffle here with all these religious groups that they keep promoting segregation.
Right.
I'm Muslim. Over 70% of my friends are Christian.
Right.
And why can't we did it in the Middle East. It seems like we're going backwards in the U.S. We're getting segregated by religion, by Shiites, Sunnis, whatever, and the sheiks are promoting that. Our mentality is changing, and every time we socialize, most of our friends now are from the same religion or the same village.
Yeah.
It's time.
And it weakens us.
Pardon me?
It weakens us.
Yeah, it weakens us. And all the professionals, the doctors, the engineers, the lawyers, the pharmacists, all of these people, we have no way of getting together. Lebanese, Syrian, Iraqi, Chaldean, all of these professionals were lost.
There's only one way to do it, Sammy, and that's this. You need to stand up and say that you're Arab, and you'll work with the Chaldeans.
Right.
And the
gotta
Chaldeans
work
and the Arabs, we need to come together and become a strong
voice. I wish one day, I agree with the gentleman who just talked a few minutes before. He went ahead of me, which is good. I'm glad he brought it up. But it's time, before we talk about the election, it's time, how are we going to raise our children here? What are we going to tell them? What's our identity? My identity is not a Muslim. My identity is Arab. How are we going to relate this to our second generation smart kids that we're bringing up? We want our kids to be educated, lawyers, engineers, doctors, whatever, but on the other hand, we're raising our kids to be from one religion, one sector. This is not right. And the sheiks and the priests are promoting that, so they build more mosques or churches and their institutions, and they could care less about what's important for our community. So please, in the future,
I agree, because
raise that point. Let's do something instead of keep talking about it, and let's worry about our community, please. Okay?
All right. Well, thank
you
you,
for your
Sammy.
support.
Those are good ideas. I appreciate them, and I agree with you. Thank you, Sammy.
Thank you.
Let's go. I think Sammy made some good points. We got Samir on the line. We got another caller. Sam, you're on the Arab Daily News radio show, the U.S. Arab Radio Network. Go ahead, Sam.
Yeah, how are you?
Good. Thank you for calling.
I got a question for last man. He talked to you.
Yes.
How we deal with somebody, how we deal with Said when he say, Deen Allah al-Islam.
Yeah, but
I want you to answer my
we need
question.
to stop
Thank
bringing
you.
that up, Sam. We need to move forward and find a way to work together. We can keep looking at each other and point out the things that we disagree with, but we need to turn away from that, and we need to recognize that we're Arab and Chaldean. We need to, because Americans don't see the difference. Americans think we're all the same. They hate us. But the truth is we need to separate it. Thank you, Sam, for calling. I appreciate it. Let's go back to probably our final caller here, Saad. You're on the U.S. Arab Radio Network, the Arab Daily News radio show. Go ahead, Saad.
Oh, how you doing, sir?
Hey, you're welcome. Thank you for calling.
To me, sir, I deal with a lot of Muslim, Chaldean, or whatever, Sunni, Shia, and I said, I don't have no problem with nobody. Just the media make the problems. I don't have no problem with nobody. Everybody's the same to me. Everybody's just like a family. It's got a Muslim, Chaldean, Shia, all we are the same. I don't have no problem. Nobody say nothing wrong to me or to nobody. We all love each other. But I don't know why the media here, with all disrespect to you or to other stations, they make these troubles between us, which that's what I don't appreciate it. We all love each other in the street, but I don't know why the media, they make the problems.
Well, the mainstream media doesn't include us. How is it that Detroit has one of the largest Arab populations and so few columnists that are Arab or Chaldean? How many Chaldean columnists write for the Detroit Free Press and the Detroit News, the combined newspaper, I guess? How many Chaldeans? How many Arab writers, write for them? You're right. The media is the problem. They make us think that they love us, but they're using us. Listen, thank you, Saad. I really appreciate your call. We're right down to the end of our show. I want to thank everybody for taking the time to call in. I love listening to your opinions. And even, some callers like Jerry and a few others made some great points. Trump is not the best candidate. He has some flaws. But like I said, if it's Bernie Sanders and Donald Trump, I'm going to vote for Bernie. Even Bernie isn't perfect. But you know what? I'll vote for Bernie. But if Hillary Clinton wins, and it's Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump, and I believe Hillary Clinton is going to steal the election using the superdelegates, then I am going to vote for Donald Trump. Because in American politics, it's not about finding the best candidate. It's voting for the least worst. That's the way it is. That's the way American politics is set up. That's democracy. Democracy, the best people never run for office. It's only you get maybe a candidate that you agree with 60, 70%. And then 30% of the stuff is terrible. Then you spend your time trying to change them. I believe Donald Trump would change his attitudes toward Muslims if he were president. I really believe that. But I hope that Bernie Sanders is the candidate on the Democratic side because I'll support him. Anyway, thank you for listening. I'm Ray Hanania. I urge you to visit my website at thedailyhookah.com and the arabdailynews.com. I'm here the second Friday of every month. Maybe I'll sit in another Friday on Layla El-Husseini's U.S. Arab Radio Network. But congratulations to the Arabs, Muslim Christians, and the Chaldeans for a powerful statement that they made in the March 8th elections primaries in Michigan. I'm Ray Hanania. We'll talk to you later. This show will be podcast on my website, so make sure to check it out. Bye-bye, everybody. Have a great week. Bye-bye.